First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's great, thank you. And I will tell you something about the EU relations with the Republic of Moldova. The EU and its member states quoted that they stand united in their unwavering support for Moldova. Moldova was granted candidate status in June 2022, so actually 3 months after the start of the special military operation here in Russia. And simultaneously also the Republic of Georgia got the same status. So according to the EU and Moldova, I mean the Moldovan government, they have strong ties with Romania. Its culture and even their flag has similarities, they say. But a problem for the EU is their big Russian community, of course, in Moldova. Speaking Russian and culturally they have ties with Russia. This has become lately, since the start of the special military operation, which actually the West, as we all know, calls a war continuously, an issue for the Moldovan government and the EU, especially for the EU. Because as we all know, we have somehow a new kind of, let's call it a pogroms going on in the Western countries, especially in Western Europe. Because everything what is Russian, the culture, the people, the books, the statues, everything seems to be, vanished. It's even a lot of statues are demolished. Do you know that? And because of the granted status to become part of the EU, the Moldovan government had to adopt the policy that Moldova is culturally and ethnically Romanian, ignoring the fact that there is, of course, a very large Russian community and the country's large heritage from the Soviet times, which is part of the history as well, if they like it or not like it. Because of former ties with Romania, it now even allows Moldovan citizens to obtain Romanian passports and, of course, simultaneously receive the EU citizenship, and so they can go and work in the whole of Europe. And this is only on the basis of origin and ethnicity. This actually discriminating the Russian community there. The EU has opened an office in Chisinau, the Moldovan capital, already in 2005, with the focus on the resolving of what they call the crisis in Transnistria. In June 2021, the European Commission announced Moldova will receive 600 million euros between 2021 and 2024 to help it recover from the COVID-19 pandemic and develop as a country and to become part of the EU. The major strategic priority of Moldova is now seeking membership in European institutions. So you can actually say they are somehow pressured to condemn the Russian-speaking minority because of the special military operation, as what I said before, which they call a war. And the fact is that not a minority, but a very large community inside Moldova is Russian. So the presence of an ethnic Russian large minority in Moldova altered Moscow's views, Russia's views on the country. Because of the current oppression against Russia in the Western world, that's what I said before, this is really going on. So Moldova's ethnic Russians think the prospect of Moldova's reunification with Romania is alarming at this moment. Maybe before it was okay to become part of the EU, even the Russian-speaking minority thought so. But now this large and politically powerful Russian minority, or actually it's a large minority, will be politically powerless in Moldova and the rest of the EU. And the current president, Maia Sandu, was the winner of Moldova's November 2020 presidential election. And she is very critical of relations with Russia. She is being considered the political enemy of Russia in EU. That's what they say in the EU. So adopting the Western and EU stance to wipe out everything what is Russian. And this resulted in her meeting with the Ukrainian foreign minister, Dmytro Kuleba. And actually, this was her first meeting when she took office in January 2021. So this is everything, it says everything about the current policy of Moldova. At the beginning of 2023, Sandu also stated that Moscow had sought to overthrow her country's government confirming accusations made by Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Some who accused Russia of trying to orchestrate violent attacks in Moldova to overthrow the government and install a government that would be more friendly to Russia, to derail the plans to join the EU. The accusation was made without any evidence, but fits perfectly in the policy of the current Western countries or the EU policy, who themselves want to overthrow the Russian government. So the big worry for Russia, I think, is Transnistria. Russia and Moldova, what I know, began negotiations in the package in a secret after the reconciliation and opening of an EU office in Chisinau in 2005. But the negotiations started in August 2006 between President Putin and Voronin that time. The negotiations included the status of Transnistria within a neutral Moldova and assurances that Transnistrian privatization of enterprises with Russian interest would not be reversed. But in January 2007, Russia stopped because of lack of interest from the Moldovan government. Another problem, I think, is the Kolbasna ammunition depot, which is a very large ammunition depot. I think it's originated from the Soviet time. It's located in the village of Kolbasna and legally and internationally recognized as part of Moldova, but actually part of Western international unrecognized state of Transnistria, and which controls the village and the ammunition depot. So the Kolbasna ammunition depot has been referred to as one of the largest ammunition depots in the whole of Eastern Europe. Of course, in times of war, because the EU speaks about war, they are eager to take control of this ammunition depot. So to conclude, Transnistria is now the big problem for the West. I think not for Russia, but for the West, for the EU. The NATO troops, about 4,000 members of the US Army's 101 1st Airborne Division, are now deployed in Romania, part with the border of Moldova, as part of a military build-up in Eastern Europe. US President Biden ordered this last year, so it's actually a race against time and see who gets first to this maybe ammunition depot. I don't know if that is their aim. But let's hope that things will calm down, and it will not come this far that the second front will be opened in Moldova. Let's hope the politicians of the EU will come to their senses and speak and find a way to negotiate, to diplomacy, what they did before when the Cold War was on. They negotiated, which they apparently don't do anymore. So let's hope we have a good solution and eventually we will have peace. But for the moment I cannot see any solution yet. So thank you.